So in today's episode, I'm going to introduce to you a way to get a brief from a client that is fun, engaging, and actually gets the job done. So let's think about this. Somebody gives you a call. They say, hey, we would like a new website, please. And instantly in the back of your mind, you're probably thinking, well, how much am I going to charge them for this? What exactly do they want? What are their needs, etc.? So you start to have a conversation with them. You're like, well, okay, maybe how many pages are you going to have on this? Do you need e-commerce, etc.? So they might say, well, it's only going to be a 5-page brochure website, etc. And then there might be like an off-the-cuff comment just at the very end where they're saying, oh yeah, and we just need a shopping cart because we've got some products we want to sell. Could you give us a price, please? Well, whole can of worms here, isn't there? You know, we don't know exactly what the functionality is that they need for that kind of off-the-cuff comment right at the very end. So the temptation might be to think in your head, all right, well, we'll just install WooCommerce or whatever the e-commerce plugin of your CMS of choice is, and we'll just run with that. But the problem is you don't know, neither does the client know, whether that's actually going to meet their needs. This is where you have to go into something called specifications, creating a functional spec or a website specification document, etc., paid discovery, all of these big phrases that lots of us agencies say, etc., and we talk to clients about, and clients hate the phrases. So here's a way of making it fun for everyone, and this is called user stories. So the idea of a user story or a user journey is nothing new, but I just want to explain it in a different way. I want to have you imagine that you and your client are going to create a book together about the new website that they want building. So you could give it a silly title like Journey into New Websitopia. That's pretty cool. And then you can have some fun with that. Now, to structure this book instead of a horrible website specification guide, all you need to do is create a list of the characters, the key characters who are going to appear in this story, and then B, structure all of those journeys into a book, into chapters. So let's give you a super quick example. First of all, establishing who the characters are. So the characters are the people that are going to visit, engage, and interact with the website. So let's just highlight two for this example. The first one is going to be a visitor called Bob, who's going to come on and he's going to buy a product. And the second person is Lizzie, the admin person. She's the person who's going to be inside of the WordPress admin in this case, and doing administration. So what we can now do is create chapters. We can first of all tell Bob's story. We can do chapter 1, how did Bob find the website? Chapter 2, how did Bob get to the product section? Chapter 3, Bob adds some products to the cart, etc. And you can essentially have fun with creating just a simple narrative, talking about how Bob journeys through the website, what he looks for, what he clicks on, etc. And that essentially, by doing that as narrative, as a story, rather than lots and lots of check boxes and custom field lists, etc., it just allows you and your client to have loads of fun. You can start to create a massive backstory for Bob as well. And remember, it's always important that you and your client understand their avatar, understand the person that is visiting their website. So hey, have as much fun as you want creating that story. Anyway, you can then go through and create all of those chapters right to the point where Bob has found the website, he's purchased some products, and or an alternative journey where he just went and signed up for a newsletter subscription. And you've created a bunch of a bunch of chapters that can be then used by you and your development team to read through and understand what is needed, what plugins may be needed, and what custom code may be needed in a document that's actually quite fun and funny to read if you have some good fun with that. Also, for the administrator, you can do the exact same process. You know, how is the administrator going to log in? How is the administrator going to see what products have been purchased, etc.? What are the processes and procedures in the back end? So you might have stock management, pack and pick, all of those other things. You can talk about all those again as some sort of narrative, as a story sectioned out in chapters. End result, you have a fun to read book called The Journey into New Websitopia, with your key characters, with descriptions of everything that's going to happen. There, you know what you're going to code, you know what you can quote on, etc. Fast forward when you are near the end of the build. If the client then says to you, so how do I export all of the orders into an Excel document? The great thing is here is you can then say, well, in the journey of New Websitopia or into New Websitopia, we don't have a chapter that covers the ability to download all of the products. into a CSV document. So let's create that chapter together. Let's have some fun creating that chapter together. And then obviously, again, we will produce a quote or an estimate based on that new chapter. So that really enables you as well to just manage client expectations and stop things like scope creep, stop things getting out of hand. So I hope this has been a new and exciting idea for you. Maybe have a go on your next project. Don't have to make it official. Maybe just do this behind the scenes as a team effort, just to see if you can get used to this concept of creating these sorts of stories and having some fun with it. And then perhaps this is something that you can apply with your clients in the future to take the boring out of the functional specification guide documentation version number 3.7.2.1. That sounded crazy. All right, guys, have a brilliant day. Please comment below any ideas that you guys may have. Are you already doing this in your agency? Are you having good success with it? What are the pitfalls you might be experiencing? Comments below. Also, remember, we have a podcast that is live every single Monday. That's WP Innovator. Head on over to anglecrown.com/podcast. Again, the link will be in the show notes. Have a brilliant day and keep innovating.